Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to recap a trade or a couple of trades that I took today or yesterday, depending on when I post this video. So let's just get right into it. I don't want to waste your time. Okay, let's see. All right. So on the charts, I have the one hour chart open here. I have this 1 hour overhead resistance marked out here, and let me do a quick explanation as to why I saw a resistance level here. The reason I saw resistance here was, you see this initial rejection right here? We had this big push up, right? We had this giant push up. This was the first level we rejected off of. After this giant move up, this is the first area that we hit some sort of roadblock, which is a significant area for sure. And then soon after that, where's my pen? We push out of this area, right? We reject a little bit, we consolidate, and then we have a strong push, this strong push right through it. We kind of skip through the whole area. We don't really progressively build through that area at all, so there's no real structure here. And then when we dip into it slowly, use it as a support, push through it, and then we go back up here one more time, test it as another rejection, and then head back down. So I had this area marked out. Let me see if I can find one I had it marked out. I think I had this area marked out as a rejection. Yeah. So I had this area marked out on the 31st. So before this giant sell-off, I had this area marked out. If you notice, this level played out so well that none of these candles even managed to close above the resistance area. Like, it managed to wick above, but these are weak wicks, right? So wicks above, wicks a little bit higher, and then lower and lower. So it just creates lower highs up here. And then we have this giant sell-off down here. And then we have another gap down 100 points. And it leads us to today. So I mark out a large time frame imbalance right here. We bounce off this imbalance once before, but it's a relevant area. And then secondly, I mark out the gap down, right? The gap down is interesting because it's a 100 point gap down. It's huge area. Like, usually you don't see this much of a gap down, right? Regardless, I mark it out. It is what it is. And this is a 1 hour chart. Let me hop onto a lower time frame and it'll start to look a bit cleaner. So we open, we sell off immediately into the imbalance, buy up, sell back down, create sell side, chop around, and then I believe market open was right around here, right? And let me see what I was doing in Discord at the time. I believe I took 2 scalps, but they're not very I don't think they're necessarily very like important to cover. I think our biggest trade was this $8,000 trade that I want to cover. But I did take 2 scalps. They were 2 short scalps, and they were on the 1 minute time frame. And these were before market open. They were around here somewhere. I'm not gonna cover them. They're not too relevant. If you do want me to cover them, I don't know, send me a message or something. Maybe I'll cover them in the channel or something. But this trade happened at in positions I probably mentioned when I entered. No, I'm. Where is it? Okay. Here, I said, looking to enter this trade, we'll let you know if I get filled. Okay, so what was I looking for? Let's do the trade replay feature here. So we're probably around here. That looks like pretty close to where we were. And we were on the 5 minute time frame. Yep. All right. Okay. So we have this sell side area, right? We have this sell side area. We barely hit it. Like, I mean buy side area, sorry. We barely hit buy side. I'm looking for a bigger push into buy side, which we didn't get. So in my opinion, price needs to come back up and push through buy side. So if price is going to do anything, and at the time I thought price is probably gonna chop around and then push through, right? But it didn't do that, and that gave me the idea. Okay, so if price decides to sell back down here, sweep the sell side, right? And what a lot of people probably ended up doing is there was a sell side level right here. I don't know if I have it marked out. Yeah, there's a sell side level right here. So what I know a lot of people would have done is they would have entered long off the sell side area, used a decent stop. They would have targeted up here. They probably would have stopped, I don't know, like something like here, or maybe like at the imbalance or something, right? The thing is, yes, like this, you might think like, okay, like this is a good trade, or maybe you want to sweep the sell side. This is like a guaranteed sweep. You think like, okay, if price comes down here, it's gonna sweep this, and it's gonna come back up, and if it decides to go down further, it's probably gonna sweep this. But that's not. It's not gonna happen just because look, we have an area of liquidity. We have a huge area of liquidity sitting here. Like this is a huge area sitting right here, an giant imbalance sitting right here. Price is going to likely tap into here. And if it decides to tap into there and sell off further to the next level, so be it, right? We will set up our stop so we can take advantage of that. So if it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't happen, you don't get stopped out. So if you take this trade, you're going to get stopped out because I don't know if the replay is fast enough to quickly demonstrate this. Look, you're going to get stopped out because price is going to see. Look at this. This is price dipped into here, stops everyone out, and flies up here. Like I almost knew this was going to happen. Like it's kind of like stupid saying it because it's like, how do you know? You don't know something's going to happen. Just from market experience, price price didn't properly sweep up here. Price is going to come down and sweep this. And at the time, if you were actually taking this trade with me, you know that price was chopping around the sell side. It came down. It was like pretending to sweep sell side multiple times. I believe there were 3 candles where it looked like it swept sell side. It looked like I wasn't going to get filled, and it looked like price was going to soar back up. But price did come down, fill me, and then go up. I set my order at 54.25. This wasn't like the most optimal entry either, honestly. An optimal entry would have been closer to the imbalance, and I believe I did a 50% retracement to sell side. That was what I was targeting. Yeah, I assumed. So what I mean by 50% retracement is generally like things will retrace or move at least halfway, or you can guarantee that there's a high chance of something happening halfway, like a high probability of something happening halfway. Like for example, if I can almost guarantee to you 100% that price is eventually going to fill this gap. Sorry. It's eventually going to fill this gap, right? But I can almost 100% guarantee you it's going to go halfway into it, right? So that's what I mean by it's going to go halfway. So what I think is if price is going to take out the sell side, if it comes halfway, it's probably going to go the rest of it. So if it comes down here, I'm fine. I'm stopped out because I'm expecting price to come down further, sweep that sell side, and I'm not being negatively exposed to that trade anymore. So I'm getting stopped out prematurely, which is good. You want to get stopped out prematurely. I am mentioning a lot in the Discord. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but if you have a high RR, so high risk to reward, so you like for example, if you're risking $100 to make $500, you don't need a high win rate to be profitable at all. And this works in your advantage. It helps you find very nice setups instead of gambling. A lot of people who trade like 1-to-1 risk to reward or 1-to-2, actually 1-to-2 is not that bad, but like 1-to-1. A lot of 1-to-1 traders. A lot of people trade 1-to-1, especially beginners. You end up gambling a ton, and you need to have a high win rate to maintain that. I like to trade higher RR for scalping, like 1-to-2, and then for good setups, like 1-to-3 to anywhere from like 1-to-3, 1-to-5. I don't even know how much this trade was. Let's check it out. It was a 4R trade, right? Like nearly a 4R trade. I did mention in the Discord that you could have gotten a better entry than me because if you're following price live, you could have waited for price to kind of hesitate and then break out. And what I mean by that is if I could get this to come down without flying past it. Bear with me a second here. As you can see, price hesitated around here, And you see this fake, also, you see this fake out candle? I want to highlight this stuff. If you were trading this with me, you guys probably thought like, oh, like, when this candle happened, you're probably like, oh shit, he missed out on the move, right? And then it comes down here and it break, like everyone gets stopped out of their trades. And that's the purpose. This is supposed to be a fake candle to make it look like price swept sell side and now it's having a strong pushback up. That's what it's supposed to look like. And this is not a strong sweep. This is a similar sweep to this. It's not even really a sweep. Price is likely going to come to the next area of interest, if not move to the next area of interest. And how we guarantee ourselves to be in the right area to take advantage of a trade, be in the right direction for a trade, is we position ourselves so we can take advantage of the move from a position to position, the most ideal move from a position to position. And that most ideal move is we enter here and we move to this level. That's our biggest move, and that will give us the best risk to reward. And if price decides to move down here, we're just gonna get stopped out here. Let's just delete all of that. And I forgot what I was gonna demonstrate. Oh yeah, entry. So you could have got a better entry than me because, okay, so this is way too fast on the time frame. Maybe like in 1 minute you could see something. Thing is, like on the replay it's so fast, but like when you're actually trading it's a lot slower. Let's see. So when you're actually trading this live, so what you notice is right here. Okay, it's so fast on the replay, but it was kind of fast in person too. But what I mean by getting a better entry is you see price, you see price come down here and it gets exhausted, right? So you see this ghost kind of candle right here. And what I mean by getting a better entry is you wait for some sort of reversal before entering. That gives you a higher confirmation. I just had a whole limit order just set up, and like my whole just order set up, my buy order, my stop, my target, everything set up because I was on the phone and I wasn't really paying attention to the markets 100%. I was like trying to talk on the phone, and if I was looking at the markets too much, I started saying some random stuff on the phone. So I was like, okay, I need to focus on this phone call. So I set up this trade, and I did mention in Discord, like I could have managed my position better. Like honestly, I could have made probably $9,000 in this trade. Again, it's not that relevant in the larger scheme, but if you're actually trading this, what you wait for is you don't try to like enter as price is coming down because you don't know when price is going to continue coming down. What you wait for is price to form a base and then break out from the area you wanted to enter. So this is the area I want to enter. Then I want price to come down and come back into it before breaking out. That's an ideal entry. Regardless, this trade worked out really well. And within like, I don't know, what is this? 1, 2, 3, like 4 minutes, $8,000 in like 4 minutes, which is crazy. And I think I talked about some other things in here. What did I mention? I was talking about like, yeah, just the price action today. It was really like simple price action today. Today, if you didn't understand some of the trades today, I would just recommend you hop in replay mode and you try to take some trades and try to understand what's going on, because today was really simple. So the whole thing is like right now, like if I just do this, right? Like again, what happens? Like this looks like a mess. Like I covered in my previous video. This just looks like a mess. Like you don't know what's going on. What is it? What does any of this mean? It's just a bunch of chop. Like you have to draw your levels when market opens. I mean, prior to market open, and then look at those levels, have a bias, and trade within those levels. So, like, your first step is just make sense of the mess. So you hop onto a larger time frame and you start to draw out the levels. Like, how does anyone know what's going on here? It looked so much cleaner just a second ago, right? Anyone can say it looked cleaner, right? It's not opinion based. You just mark out important levels. It's not very hard to do at all. And then you act upon them. When price comes into an area of interest, whether it's resistance, support, buy side, sell side, an area of liquidity, an imbalance, right? A trend, anything, right? Price reacts strongly whether it goes quickly through it or it reverses, right? Either way, you can make sure you're on the right side of it. And if you're not on the right side of it, I like to say have a small stop so you quickly know you're not right. If your bias is wrong, you don't want to just stick to a trade that's killing you, right? You want to quickly exit that trade, re enter the trade, or find a different trade, right? If your bias is there and you were correct and you just had a bad entry, then it's fine. You can look for a better entry. I've done that before. Just if your RR is good, like if your risk to reward is good, it doesn't matter if you get a re entry, you're still going to make money because your risk to reward was better. Like, for example, if it's 5R, you lose $100 on your first entry, but then your next entry you make 500, add the two together, you made 400, right? Even if you lose twice, minus 200, and then you win 500, so it's 300, right? You're still up. Anyways, yeah, I was just covering. Yeah, okay, I was just talking about how you can make sense of the markets. So today, in my opinion, it was a very easy day for traders. And if we hop out of this replay mode, actually, I don't even know how to do that. This, I think. Yep, perfect. Okay. Another thing to know. Another thing to know. I'm not always in the markets, right? So, you can't rely on me to be into this. Like the Discord channel is like I created. Like I'm just all over the place right now. The bank's ideas, the positions. These were like, I don't know, like a freebie I created because I felt like the AI wasn't enough. I felt like I was just giving the signals, yes, but I wasn't necessarily like showing you guys why I trade or like how I trade myself or anything, or explaining anything behind it. So I just wanted to explain that as well. But you guys can't expect me to be there every single day or be there all throughout the day. Like, for example, today after I made $11,000, I'm out for the day. Like, I'm not going to hang around for much longer. There's no reason for me to, right? A trade I saw before leaving the markets was this really easy trade, honestly. Just want to make an example out of it before I end this video. I didn't take this trade, but I saw it, and again, I didn't want to alert this trade or anything like that in the Discord because imagine you're somebody, you saw me win 3 times in a row, and then you missed out on all 3 of the trades, right? And then you see this last trade, and you're like, okay, let me enter on this last trade, and then this is like a YOLO trade for me because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play with some profits a little bit here, enter a trade, and then you get burned, right? Like that sucked. Anyways, this trade, which I quickly saw before I left the markets, you see this area where price broke out, right? Price broke out strong. After price broke out, it came back here and created this area where it tested a small imbalance. I mean, an imbalance you could bring this imbalance further down. I wouldn't necessarily bring it that far down just because we have a close area. This area is not too far. We're on a 15-minute time frame. So I'll drag it out like this, right? And I would bring it actually probably up to meet some more wicks, right? Let's meet some more wicks. Okay. So what we're looking at is an area where price is dipping into before it continues its move up. So when price comes down into this area, so when price dips into here and then dips into here again, and then comes here and dips into here again. So what you're looking for is you want to have a nice, easy trade, use this area, and I could probably give you a nice stop. This is, where am I right? Okay, so your stop would just be like right under this area right here, honestly. Again, like a nice 50% retracement, 50% retracement to there, and then you'd enter like right around here, 50% retracement there, and at that time, let me do a replay so you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying. Let's see, and then we have a sell side level, a buy side level here. So you'd be like, okay, price is dipping into this area again. It's gathering some liquidity to move upwards. I'm gonna target here, move up here. Super easy trade. Again, these are just simple market concepts. You enter here, short stops again, short stops. And let's say you get a horrible entry. Like, matter of fact, let's say you really want some confirmation and you do what I mentioned earlier, where you want price to come down, but you also want price to come back up to guarantee you're on the right side. You don't want to catch the bottom. Okay, so you enter here and you target here. A nice easy 2R trade, and I think we just saw this trade works out. Very simple. Price immediately bounces up from there, and the way you would, I guess, not guarantee it, but like the reasoning for this trade, there's multiple reasons you would take this trade. It's not out of the blue. Number one, we're in an uptrend. We're clearly in an uptrend. We're in a bull trend. We're buying. Like, we're in a little bit of an uptrend right now. So you understand that buyers are more active. So there's a higher chance of us moving up. You want to play the game of statistics when trading. You want to move everything to your side. You want to try to have as much edge as possible when trading. The second thing, we have this gap fill area that we want price to fill eventually, right? So we know that price is probably going to levitate towards that gap fill. So there's this area where price is probably going to start pulling towards. And price is dipping into this area. Again, we marked out this area where it's gathering liquidity. And we have a buy side. If price, for whatever reason, wants to move down, it's most likely going to sweep its relative highs right here before coming crashing down, right? So we take all these things into considerations. That gives us what, like 5 reasons to take this trade. And there's almost no reason not to take the trade, just because it's a low risk trade. And we have so many positive factors for our trade. And once you consider things like this, it's just so much easier. And you might say, like, okay, like, how can I even think about all this stuff when I'm trading? The thing is, you don't really have to. It's just things you keep in mind. For example, the gap. You drew that out already, or you were supposed to draw that out, right? That's something you drew out. This area, you draw it out. So that's another thing just covered. You know we're in a bull trend. That's 3 things already. You know these things, right? You know what's going on. That's a buy side level up there. That's 4 things. You know these things. These aren't hard market concepts to understand. This is all stuff that it's very easy, and you know. And this all helps you have a high win rate when it comes to trading. And the last thing I would recommend that you may not know is using a short stop, because it helps you have a more successful trading career and not necessarily have to worry about your win rate. You can have a lower win rate if you have a high RR, because you're taking better trades. It's forcing you to take better trades, because you're not going to enter a bad trade, because if it's the RR is not there, you don't enter. That's just how it should be anyways, right? It makes sense. And I believe that's the correct way to trade, especially when you're day trading. Options trading is completely different. It's hard to demonstrate options trading. I mean, I can't really like draw out options trading for you guys. Options trading is just like, there's a lot of math in it. Like, yeah, I'm sure you guys know, like theta decay, there's like delta, there's your strike prices, everything. If you understand like these trading concepts, and then you understand market structure and all that, you can take advantage of options. For example, my options guys, you guys will know, during something like this, like a big push up, options contracts gain a lot of extrinsic value, just because there's a lot of buying pressure happening, and it quickly exponentially gains value, versus futures contracts, which is not exponential, it's linear, right? Anyways, options, first you have to understand this. If you understand this, you'll start to learn options a little bit better. I can make a video on options. I did have someone DMing me asking me about options. Also, speaking of DMing, sorry if I am not getting back to people like right away. I'm trying my best, especially people who aren't Banks Elite members. I'm not as fast for you guys, just because I'm trying to give priority to the people who are, paying. I'm sure you guys understand that, but I'm still trying to get back to you guys within like a day or so. Like, I'm trying my best. And other than that, if you guys have any suggestions or anything you want to watch, I also probably will make a recap video on a trade I took the other day. I don't know where that one is. I think it might be this one. There's something I really need to make a video on. I think I mentioned it here. Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, no, this I really need to make a video on this. This whole potential resistance area and this big sell down and how you could have taken advantage of that, the sell side levels, the big movement, the big push down. It's another market concept. Just the simple fact that price moves quickly through levels. For example, if price is breaking through a support or resistance, it's targeting sell side levels. It's just going to move quickly to sweep those levels, and you can take advantage of that, especially when they're stacked up and have a longer trade. If you get what I'm saying. But yeah, no, I'll try to make a video on that. If I remember for sure. But other than that, if you guys DM me on Discord, I'll try my best to get back to you guys. And currently, I'm active in the Discord on Monday mornings, Wednesday mornings, and Thursday mornings. I'm active here and there. I think Tuesdays and Fridays, like here and there. I just have some other things that like. If you guys don't know, I'm also in school. I'm a computer science and business analytics student. Reason for that is obviously so I can improve my coding, and also business analytics, trading, they're kind of related. But on top of that, I do have some real estate investments that are getting a little bit not out of hand, but I'm looking to get a property manager. That's what the whole phone call was about, anyways. It was about one of my properties. If you guys don't know where I am on the East Coast, it snowed, and then I need to get a snowplow out there. It was a big mess, but yeah. Anyways, enough of the app. If you guys enjoyed the video, just like the video, subscribe. Yeah, have a good one.